Tyson Fury pulls out of yet another fight, and somehow, even though he hasn't fought in about 18 months, he wins an Espy Awards with ESPN. I'm going to talk about that. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys throw a like on this video if you enjoy it, so it triggers and shows that other people that may be interested in this video and ensures that they get to see the video. Now, Tyson Fury just won an ESPN Espy at the 2021 awards. I don't believe he was there to pick it up because he just pulled out of a fight with the Rona. That's what he's saying. He has won the Rona. So you guys see it right here. The Gypsy King added more gold to his collection. Tyson Fury was voted 2021's best boxer at the Espy Awards. Now, this is, I want to say unbelievable, but this is the type of stuff that always happens. So it's highly believable. It's definitely not unbelievable, because if you notice, ESPN was the same company that had Ronda Rousey on the cover of the magazine and says she conquered MMA. Will she conquer boxing? So Ring Magazine, who's posting about this, and then also ESPN, who I guess voted him in. You know, this is the type of behavior. ESPN, Ring Magazine put Ronda Rousey on the cover, but ESPN was also pushing this narrative that Ronda Rousey could beat Floyd Mayweather. So Ronda Rousey and Floyd, there was back and forth disses, and they were really glorifying that, knowing damn well that Ronda Rousey, a female, couldn't beat a male TBE, the best ever, you know, generationally great Floyd Mayweather. But yet and still ESPN promoted this. Shout out to my man J. Carl, he tagged me. We're gonna look at some of the comments. He didn't even win a fight in 2021, scam alert. So somehow, just so you guys know, Clarissa Shields was on the list, Canelo, and Tyson Fury beat all of them. Best fighter 2021, a man who has not been in the ring since February of last year, right? And so on and so forth. So many people have questions. It's funny because so many people have questions to this, you know? So many people have questions. Like, how is Tyson Fury how did he get this victory? Based on what? What is the criteria? As you can see, there are so many people who have questions. Did he even fight in 2021? He didn't even fight the year. What the hell is this? Hasn't fought in 2021 because he's been occupied trying to break his rematch contract with Wilder for sure. Yeah, fighter of the year. And that's obviously sarcasm. People laughing at it. People saying Josh Taylor. What the F? How? This stuff was meant for Canelo. Ridiculous. He never fought in 2021. That's what I'm saying. I told you. Like, I made the video. This is why you guys got to subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. I made the video talking about how he was nominated, and these were the same things that I was saying. I was like, how is Tyson Fury? But we know it's all propaganda, just like the ESPN and Ring pound for pound list. They're just going to throw whoever they want on the list, and it has to have little rhyme or reason as to who's on the list. You know, this is meant to trigger. ESPN is digging their own grave. People just confused by it all. He has never defended a belt in his career. Very good comment. Right? So this is some straight up BS. That's what I'm saying. So no one even believes in it. So good job to ESPN. Somehow Tyson Fury has beaten the likes of Clarissa Shields, who just became a dual sport champion, or dual sport win. She just fought in MMA and got a victory, right? But somehow Tyson Fury wins this. And ironically enough, Tyson Fury has the Rona right now, again, further stalling his fight, which a lot of people don't believe because, again, this is Tyson Fury. I could show you the behavior. Tyson Fury, he wins an Espy, but he's been accused of cheating. Deontay Wilder accuses Tyson Fury of loading gloves in his rematch and demands a third fight. They had a rematch clause in the fight. Tyson Fury tried to weasel out of it and use the pandemic and the break in between to escape from even fighting Wilder. And it took Wilder and his legal team, which he thanked at the post-fight press conference. Here's the video where Wilder accused Fury of this. But it took Wilder's legal team and them to present a case and do depositions and answer questions and show evidence for Wilder to secure that fight. Tyson Fury's team had stated that Wilder was ish out of luck and that Wilder had no legal recourse to do anything because he's not owed an additional fight. This is the type of behavior that apparently ESPN rewards, to the point where they give you an Espy for being irresponsible, pulling out of a fight again. And Fury's also failed drug tests, as you guys see. Tyson Fury reportedly failed second drug test, which this was at the time. It wasn't reportedly, he actually did fail. So this was probably breaking news, so they titled it like that. But it says heavyweight champion has failed second drug test for cocaine. So you seen at the beginning, I put the clip where Deontay Wilder, heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, failed second VADA test for cocaine. So not one. And this was a writer with ESPN. So in 2016, he failed a drug test, something Wilder has never done throughout his career. You see, for cocaine, which is obviously a banned substance, something you can't have in your system, right? And this was on ESPN. You see it. I'm showing you. It's an article at ESPN. So it's evident that ESPN has to know the extensive background of a guy like Tyson Fury, because their own senior writer at the time was making articles about it. But yet and still, Tyson Fury beats other people. Like, you have first of all, you have Canelo on the nominations who's failed a drug test, and Tyson Fury. But then there's guys like Gervonta Davis, a black fighter, never failed a drug test. And he's moving through the ranks. He knocked out Leo Santa Cruz, knocked out Barrios, but he's not on the list. Jermell Charlo, he knocked out Tony Harrison to prove the rematch that he can beat him. So that was significant. Now he's going for undisputed. He's not on the list. Clarissa Shields was on the list, but she didn't win. And she's undisputed. She's moved through ranks and moves through the weight classes to collect belts. She's challenging herself. What a coincidence. All these African American fighters nowhere to be seen on the ESPN list. I think we know what time it is. But Tyson Fury, he can fail a drug test and it gets reported by ESPN, yet ESPN still puts him on the ballot to even win, right? And then he wins. Tyson Fury, again, his behavior is not new. Tyson Fury has threatened to pull out of his fight with Vladimir Klitschko. So Tyson Fury has a history of this BS, of threatening to pull out. And funny enough, he's a gypsy. His bro, Billy Joe Saunders, is a gypsy. This is the same behavior we've seen when he had to finally step up and fight someone as good as Canelo Alvarez. Billy Joe Saunders employed these same tactics. Another gypsy in boxing. How is this good for the sport of boxing? Billy Joe Saunders said he needs a bigger ring. Then they gave him a bigger ring. He said it wasn't big enough. And mind you, he's the B side. So Canelo's the A side. He really calls the shots in that equation, right? He's no Floyd Mayweather. This is Billy Joe Saunders we're talking about. The people in Texas, predominantly Canelo fans that went out to see Canelo at Canelo show, but he created this ruckus and threatened to pull out. Same thing Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury threatened to pull out of his fight with Klitschko. Tyson Fury is threatened to withdraw from his heavyweight bout with Klitschko on Saturday after a disagreement over the gloves. Keep in mind the irony. He disagreed with Klitschko, the A side in that equation, over the Paffin gloves. But ironically enough, years later, people dug up Fury's past, and in Wilder 1, Wilder 2, the Christian Hammer fight, you see issues with his gloves. Glovegate 1 and 2. It says the British boxer rejected the first set of gloves suggested by Klitschko as Fury said their design would likely dislocate his thumb. When have you ever heard of a fighter say that they don't want to wear some gloves, name brand, right? Because it would dislocate his thumb. Ironically enough, the glove brand that he thought would dislocate his thumb in 2016 or whenever he fought Klitschko is the same brand he switched to in the second Wilder fight. First Wilder fight, he had Everlast gloves. Second Wilder fight, he wore Paffins that he previously said would dislocate his thumb, right? They sent me over some gloves, which Klitschko asked for. They had giant thumbs, which were about 2 or 3 inches bigger than normal, and it's sticking out, blah, blah, blah. So he didn't like the build or whatever, and this is the behavior that is celebrated apparently with old media and ESPN. You could fail drug tests for cocaine, for nandrolone. You could be accused of cheating in your last fight. And you can also, threaten to pull out and create havoc instead of fighting as the B-side. And you could withdraw and postpone fights multiple times. And this is not a pattern to old media. Now, finally, ironically enough, you have sculptors building statues of Wilder getting knocked down with the American flag, and England just lost in the Euro finals as well. But anyway, you have these statues being made about Wilder as he's falling down, despite him saying that he was cheated in the fight. You see, they got people making these sculptures of Wilder. I made videos about it. You guys could take a look at that. But the irony is this. Why is Tyson Fury winning the Espy? Old media is dead. I tried to tell y'all. But why is Tyson Fury winning the Espy for beating Deontay Wilder, who old media says is sorry? He's bum squad. He's no good. He twerks. He has chicken legs. He had headphones on because he was afraid. They say all these things about Wilder, but what's the celebration for? I don't get, why would you be praised for beating Wilder to the point where you're winning awards, Espy awards, and you're also getting statues made to immortalize the moment if, in fact, Wilder is what they say he is, which is bum squad and all this stuff. Man, it's looking extremely bad for old media. The bias is showing. This is why people don't take ESPN seriously when it comes to award shows like this and, their push for Ronda Rousey. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. To me, it's regular behavior that we always see from ESPN. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We working.